Nathalie, we know that Missandei owes a debt to Daenerys as she freed her from slavery. Do you think Daenerys should have made Missandei her hand instead of Tyrion?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know about that. That would be cool. I'd love to play that, but I think, you know, Tyrion knows the enemy. He is much more experienced with being a hand. And that sort of political landscape. I think Missandei has come from a completely different world. She's been dealing with a completely different set of dangers, but like she, you know, this sort of strategizing and negotiating this very cutthroat world all of a sudden is so new. So I think Tyrion is probably the better candidate for hand, and I fully support him in that role. Although it would be super cool to be like hand to like your bestie, you know. Like, he's like girl power, you know, double team, like it'd be really fun.
I think he would have made an awesome hand, actually.
Oh, well, thank you.
TBH.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
John, when Samwell was a member of the Night's Watch, Jon Snow was his constant protector. How much of an influence do you think Jon still has over him? And how much does Samwell want to please Jon?
Sam arrived at Castle Black completely bereft of any positive male role model in his life. And indeed, the positive female role model that he had been very cruelly taken away from him. So what he found in Jon Snow in that moment was everything he possibly needed, all kind of wrapped up in one person. He was a big brother, he was a father figure, he was a confidant, he was a best friend, he was all of those things. And Sam knew what it was like to be saved by somebody, knew what it was like to be saved by Jon Snow, and knew what it was like to have somebody take the burden of you on their shoulders. And when he found Gilly, he found somebody in even more kind of emotional dire straits than he was, who had a life of systematic sexual abuse laid out in front of her, and the worst possible life you can imagine. So he knew what it was like to be saved at that point. So he wanted to do that for somebody else. He wanted to save this girl and her son because he knows how important that can be. It was like Jon handed the baton on to Sam, and Jon Snow was kind of everything to Sam, and now they've gone on their separate paths because Sam wants to please him so much, because he wants to fight the same battle as Jon Snow. He wants to stand shoulder to shoulder with Jon Snow in the Great War, but he knows that he can't do that on the battlefield. He knows that he has to do that using his very unique set of skills, which is academia and learning and applying knowledge. The Citadel is his battlefield. And so Jon sent him there, and now he has the responsibility to make Jon's faith in him justified and get Jon results. He knows it's a race against time. He needs to get in there, find out whatever piece of information he needs to find out, get back up to the north and give it to Jon Snow. That's what and he feels that responsibility all the time. He knows he's got a huge debt to repay to Jon, and he feels that very strongly, and fingers crossed he does just that, right?
Yeah. Isaac, in certain spiritual traditions, the third eye refers to the gate that leads to inner realms and spaces of higher consciousness. Do you think that applies to the three-eyed raven? It's all about the raven.
I think in many ways it does, because I've always said that if I could have any superpower, it would be to be all-knowing, and that's exactly what Bran is now. He's learnt with the original three-eyed raven, and now he has access to like this vast encyclopedia of all of history. And not only can he just read someone's perspective of it, he can actually exist there in that time and watch it happen. So if that's not one of the deepest and most interesting realms there is, then I'm not sure what is.
Cool. Thank you, Isaac. Okay, before I open the floor for questions from you guys, I'm going to ask another few questions of the group. This is obviously very important, this question. Gwendoline, if there were one character, Hodor, wish hadn't been killed, Hodor, who would it be, Hodor?
Well, I mean, there's two people, obviously. One is someone who was a magnificent presence in the series, who happens to be hosting this panel. And also Catelyn Stark.
Big answer, real answer. Alfie.
Who would I like to be brought back to life?
Yeah, pretty much.
I would say Khal Drogo. I like Khal Drogo. Definitely. Khal Drogo.
Conleth?
Catelyn, and you.
Oh, you have to say that. Don't say that.
Okay, not you. Catelyn and no, you.
I'm still hurting about Ned. Still breaks my heart.
It takes a while to get over that one.
I also have a flame for Barristan Selmy. Oh, one up for Barristan.
Yes.
I just really loved working with Jack Gleeson so much that I have to say Joffrey. He was so great.
Such a good husband. Very generous man. I have no choice. I have to say my baby girl Shireen. That still hurts. Big time.
I think I am still heartbroken about Hodor. Like, I honestly just can't quite put it into words. But I just love your guys' like whole thing. So I think my answer is Hodor.
Right.
Like, genuinely.
Yeah, two answers again. First and foremost, the legitimate answer is Robb Stark. And the second answer is, if there's one character that I wish they hadn't killed, it'd be Jon Snow, just to save us having to talk about it every 5 minutes for a year.
That whole year was pretty bad.
That was a pretty crummy year.
Yeah, you know, I actually got in the newspapers about that. Someone asked me for like the 37th time that hour, is Jon Snow coming back? And I just lost it. I was just like, you know what? I don't care. And the next day in the paper it said Kristian Nairn hates Kit Harington. And I was like, I didn't say that. Anyway, Isaac, yeah, you be very careful.
Jay!
Shut up.
Yeah, actually, some of the direwolf. I bring that Hodor.
I don't even like the direwolf.
No.
Just to abuse and kick it and everything, did you? Wow. You have the legs actually, so you can. Thank you, Isaac, for your vote of confidence. Okay, I think we've got time for one more great question you'll all be glad to hear. Gwendoline. Actually, I'm going to shake this up. I'm going to mix this up. Sophie.
Thank the Lord.
Because you're looking at me. After so much time working on Game of Thrones, are you ready to act in a comedy, rom-com, or a musical? And would you like to act or direct or?
I feel like Game of Thrones incorporates rom-com musical, you know. I don't know. I like the dark, gritty stuff, but I don't know if I could do comedy after all this. I'm in a very dark place in my life.
Yeah, I can second that. She is.
Let's see. Alfie.
Yes.
Would you like to be in a rom-com, or would you like to act or direct? Or I know you
love nothing more than to be in a rom-com.
Nothing more.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, to just anything that comes my way. Not even, you know, I'll just, you know, take anything on. But yeah, directing is something that would definitely interest me, without a doubt.
Yeah, cool, man. Gwen.
I'm desperate to do a musical. Please, someone put me in a musical. Kind of Marlene Dietrich, kind of gender-bending, sort of song and dance.
Cabaret type thing.
Maybe.
If I ask this question, I'll prerequisite. I won't ask you to prove it, but can you sing?
Can she sing?
I don't know this. I don't know the answer. So.
That the jury's out on that small aspect of doing a musical. But I hear they can do all sorts with technology these days.
It's called miming.
Okay. Isaac.
I'd like to be in Game of Thrones, the comedy rom-com musical.
I hope that goes.
Well, it would just be a comedy rom-com musical. What more?
Might walk in, come out behind the door and like tap dance.
Yeah, I mean, you could have all sorts of different musical numbers. It's ripe for a musical adaptation.
Shall we do it?
Yeah, David and Ted.
We're just the people to do it. You play the piano, I play the guitar.
Well, there are so many music.
Yeah, we've got like a whole band here actually. John.
When I was 13 years old, I played Potiphar, the plum role of Potiphar, in Joseph and His Amazing Technical Dreamcoat at school. Couldn't sing then, can't sing now. Absolutely stormed it somehow then.
Nice.
It'd be interesting to see how standards have risen over time. I'd be interested in reprising my iconic role as Potiphar on the London stage for a hefty old fee.
Liam.
I'd love to do some comedy. I did a lot of comedy on stage before I started this television business. But I'm with Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage was asked how did he think the last episode should go, and he thinks the last episode of the entire show should be a musical. I think it's a brilliant idea. We're breaking the norms with television. Let's go that way. Let's finish with a high-kicking number around the throne. Why not?
I'd watch it.
Who have I not asked? That's a danger of doing it this way. I've forgotten who I've asked. Conleth.
I'm happy to take a rest and let other people do rom-coms, comedies, and what was the other one?
Musicals.
Oh no, they're not getting music.
That kind of stuff.
No, I've done it all. Good night.
Jake.
Yeah, I want to make films, but
that wasn't an option. Rom-com.
No, he's also said.
Can we do it again? Okay, I'll do it again.
I'm like super greedy. I want to do everything. Yeah, this is quite a hard show to follow. Like, what do you do? I'm a like master spearsman now. That's hard. So I just want to do like hard things. So I guess like a comedy or a rom-com would be quite hard. I do want to, you know, because there's this talk of spin-offs of the show. I just want to put my hat in the ring now and just say, I really like the idea. I've been talking to Daniel Portman, who plays Pod, and we've been talking about a sort of side core to the show where Grey Worm and Pod and maybe Dario Naharis.
A cyborg?
Side core. It's like, so when you're not sitting, but when you get like cameos, like Brienne would come in and be like,
okay, as a cyborg?
As a cyborg, yeah, sure,
okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Let's go with the cyborg version. I want the cyborg version. The Borg invaded Westeros. Could we do that, please?
Actually, I can announce that the HBO spin-off has already been decided. It's going to be called Better Call Davos. And good night.
Nathalie.
Yeah, I'm sort of open to all things. I don't like to be absolutist about anything. Like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, because you never know what comes into your, you know, email inbox. You know, you're like, oh, that's a good script, or that's be a fun thing to do. I actually started off doing musicals, so I am so open to doing a musical. Whether I can sing as well as I should, I mean, you know, but I'd give it a go. And, you know, other stuff, like, I'd love to, I've already sort of attempting to write things, and I'd love to be behind the camera too, so I'm sort of just like going with the flow.
Awesome. I think we've had some really good ideas for a board musical in Westeros. I'm going to start working on that right away. And now we're going to open up the floor to you guys, which is the most important part of the panel, I feel. Do we have any questions? Oh, wow.
Oh.
As if by magic. Hello.
Hello. I come here a lot, but this is my first time I've been able to ask a question of Game of Thrones, and there's a puppy! And you're all just so gorgeous. Oh my God, I wanted to ask a sexy question, but I couldn't think of one. So my question is, oh, and by the way, Hodor needs to come back as a White Walker. And my question is, does anyone have any costume problems that they hate a part of their costume so much, other than Isaac not being able to stand up ever?
It's not a costume.
I'm looking
I hate
at
that
you,
part of his
Gwendoline.
costume.
It's a leg defect.
Yeah, guys.
I've definitely had to just be sewn into my costumes, which is really problematic when you need the bathroom. So, as every time you need to go, you have to be like cut out and then sewn back in.
Well, it isn't easy for us to cut you out.
Huh?
It's me that has to cut her out.
But yeah, that's probably the only like.
There's a queue to cut Nathalie out of her costume, by the way. She never has to ask for help, for some reason.
I mean, I think I can add to this a little, because I grew up on a farm, and the only time I have smelt something that smells like my costume after 6 years is when I go into like a sty of pigs. I can literally smell my costume from like 3 kilometers away.
You smell like a sty of pigs? What are you doing in it? Did you have to be snipped?
I do everything in my costume.
Bother to be snipped out?
I mean, every year they added a different layer to mine every year to make me sweat slightly more, you know. But really, it smells like death. Have you ever smelled death? It smells like that. I can smell from 3 kilometers away. I used to like spray cheap after cheap over it. It's horrible. Anyway, hi guys.
TMI.
Hello guys. I want to thank. I've had the blessing and luck of meeting different one of you guys each throughout the year. Thank you for the fan service, and hi Gwendoline. Which crowd is crazier? The Game of Thrones crowd or Star Wars?
People always ask me this, and I can't really, I mean, I should have come up with a better answer by now, really. There's absolutely no excuse. I don't think it's I mean, it's not really a craziness, but the level of passion is pretty much equal. And I'm hugely lucky to be involved with both projects. To be involved with the project, what is noticeable is Star Wars is something that many of us have grown up with, that gives us actually, what I feel is a sense of home about Star Wars. That's how I feel. I feel like I've come home. And it's amazing the way Game of Thrones is we're going into the 7th season now, but there's a similar feeling, actually, which I think is match of the passion and love. And I look forward to the resonance of Game of Thrones carrying on through people's lives, so they have that same feeling of home and love for it.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name's Lila from San Diego, and I just want to say your show is the best show on television right now. It's amazing. I love it.
Thank you.
And my question is for Sophie. How's your relationship with John now that you've reunited? And also, since you're running low on brothers lately, I have a proposition for you.
Can I be a Stark?
Yeah, you can. You're a Stark. Woohoo! Yeah!
We have a new Stark.
Easy as that. See, I didn't realize it was that easy to replace brothers. First question was, oh, right, Jon and Sansa. I've forgotten the question. What was it? Does anyone remember the question?
Back together again.
Back together again. How does it feel?
Relationship.
Oh, that's right. It's you know, there's still that kind of sibling rivalry from back when they were very young and they reunited, and there's still kind of those kind of that sexism that's just ingrained in the culture, where the men are the fighting figures and the women just kind of say nothing, when really Sansa is politically, especially to do with Battle of the Bastards, was very she was very knowledgeable about how to deal with the situation, deal with the Boltons, and so it's about them finding that balance and finding that collaboration, but it's proving quite difficult. He's the military man, she's the politician, but I think they both need to realize that they need to stop fighting for ultimate power and just work together.
Thank you very much.
So tell me. It's easy. Dragons, direwolves, and 300 aliens cannot see. So I can bring forward to us again as the children of the cold.
Mic drop.
I didn't hear.
Nobody knows what you said, dude.
Just step out of character for a second.
First time we've heard the Night King speak.
Are you looking forward to rising again as the children of the cold?
Oh, that's a great question.
We don't have much choice in the matter, do we?
Absolutely not.
I didn't realize the Night King was California.
Hey, I'm from Philadelphia.
Sorry. It's the makeup made you sound like you were from the valley.
I'm only out here because of the Marine Corps.
That's why the Night King's formidable. He was in the Marine Corps.
Thank you, Dave. You look incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, man. Beautiful costume.
Hi. I have a question.
Does that?
No, I remember it. I remember the question.
His T-shirt says, "I think and have forgotten things." Like the question.
I know the question. Okay. This is for Gwendoline. Now, Tormund, he seems to have only one move with the ladies, which is like the same move I have, which is a creepy smile. So, what else could he do to get in Brienne's chainmail?
Wash.
Well, let's not forget, Tormund does certainly have his, very well put, creepy smile. He also enjoys masticating food at Brienne, as we saw him really going down on that chicken leg. Didn't do much for her, did it? I think really it's about, in order to win Brienne's heart, it's about a mutual respect that isn't about any sort of overpowering or sexual advance. It has to be about a mutual respect that's born out of skill and a nobility about your ideals.
And you think that's going to happen with Tormund? Yeah, mutual
Well, it's
respect.
not going to happen with you.
You know, you might get lucky.
There are kids here. There are kids here. There are under 18s here.
Okay, we've got time for one last question. So you have the honor of having the last question, dude. So let's do it. Let's do it.
Questions. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. Hi guys. Hi.
Stop leading the witness.
This question is for everyone. What's your favorite scene of Game of Thrones season 6?
What's your favourite scene of Game of Thrones season 6, guys?
Great question. There's a lot of questions. For me, Battle of the Bastards was absolutely extraordinary. I think it's a really difficult thing to top, because we spent like 5 weeks shooting that 20-minute sequence, and it was difficult. It was tough. But for Kit Harrington and the rest of that team, I was in and out. It wasn't too bad. But there was extraordinary work done on that with the director. And people keep asking the question, how you have to top it, you have to top it. It shouldn't work like that. We shouldn't always have to make it bigger. You have to make it different and more interesting. So for all the people that say, how are you going to make it bigger next year? Let's not worry about that. It's got to be beautiful, not just big. But for me, Battle of the Bastards was extraordinary television.
For me, and I don't say this with any offence to you, but it was the death of Hodor. Because I thought it was such a Game of Thrones way of killing off a character. We suddenly learn all this tragic information about the fact that Hodor's purpose was basically just to serve Bran, and it was all as a result of Bran's hubris. And we just discover this, and we're heartbroken, and then Hodor's taken from us in the ultimate sacrifice. And as tragic as it was, I think it was brilliantly done, and you did marvellously, and we'll never forget that.
Any other submissions?
One of my favourite moments was Yara Greyjoy and Dany meeting. Can we do the handshake? It's amazing. Do you remember it? It's like that.
That's great. I like that.
I just thought that was such a powerful moment in seeing these two women coming together, and like I feel like that was the beginning of. It feels like the women are like about to own this shit. Sorry, excuse my language, but that felt like one of those moments that started to seed in last season.
Yeah.
Like, it was cool. I like that moment.
All good? Guys, we've just come to the end of the panel. I can't believe it after all this. Thank you so much for coming. Guys, it's been an honour to be a part of this show for the last 6 years. And thank you to my friends out there, and thank you to my friends here, Isaac Hempstead-Wright, John Bradley, Nathalie Emmanuel, Cunningham, Sophie Turner, Jacob Anderson, Conleth, Alfie Allen, and Gwendoline Christie.
And Kristian Nairn.